In 2022, I made a decision of moving from Orlando, Florida to Houston, Texas with $2,000 in my bank account, not knowing anyone in Houston. And it ended up becoming one of the best decisions that I've ever made. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blessed by God. I am your host, Benita Banks. I am severely under the weather. I am congested. I have a scratchy throat. That is why I sound like this. So I pray that you bear with me today. Okay, this is going to be mostly a story time. I am going to take it easy. And I promised myself that I'm going to post at least once a week, and I am keeping on to that promise. And that is why I am still making a video despite being under the weather. And I pray that you will just bear my voice and we can just go ahead and jump into this. This testimonial is going to help somebody who is in the verge of making a decision. 2025 is coming to an end. We are in December right now, and 2026 is just around the corner. And I bet you're about to make one of the life changing decisions. And as you're evaluating how 2025 went, you are like, you know what? I'm not going to repeat this in 2026, or I'm going to move, I'm going to do this. Whatever decision you're planning to do for 2026, I hope this message will help you, push you, give you that nudge that you need to go if you are in a fearful state, or if you're about to make something very hasty decision. Take a break, think about it, and come back. Let's go ahead and jump into this testimonial / story time. I moved from Wichita, Kansas, where I was living for 7 years, and just with unfortunate events and so many things that were happening in Wichita, I was so sick of the place and I was so ready for something new. And Orlando was promising. Orlando was the new city that nobody knows me. It was this sunny Florida. The weather is wonderful, the palm trees and everything. I had so many hopes for Orlando, and I just jumped into it. I decided, you know what, I need to find a place to stay, and I was connected with this wonderful lady that I ended up living with for the couple of months that I was in Orlando. I rented a bedroom from her, and things were just looking promising at this moment while I was still in Wichita. I packed up my things, drove to Orlando, Florida, excited. And the first day I arrived there, it was really nice. The place is beautiful, palm trees, the weather, the ponds everywhere. It was a dream for me. And then I started living there for a little bit. I started meeting new people, which I met a lot of new people in the Congolese community, and actually a Nigeria, Ghana, every kind of community. In fact, even at work, everybody's nice in Orlando. It's just like Texas. It gives me Texas, of course. And I decided to start looking for jobs and looking for an apartment because I was so used to living by myself, having my own apartment, and renting a bedroom was kind of really risky and shocking to me. I did not like that lifestyle. So I made my decision that I'm going to look for an apartment, and I already had money saved up. I was ready for this move. I prepared myself, and I was like, okay, with the money that I have saved up, I will go ahead and look for an apartment and start looking for a job as I'm living in this bedroom. But to my shock, I was 1 month in, no job that was lined up. I was still in this apartment. I was not expecting to start in this bedroom. I was not expecting to start paying a next month rent for that bedroom. But there was no job lined up. I couldn't find any apartment. At this moment, I have applied to at least 3 apartments. They are all taking my money and no one is responding. Florida, you need to look into that. And it was so crazy to me. And now I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, this dream that I've had is starting to fall apart. And then after I think a month, 2 months, I ended up getting a job at Amazon. And oh my goodness, I only worked, it was a night shift. I worked in Amazon for about a week. That week was including orientation, because oh my goodness, I ended up quitting after my second day because it was so hard. And at the fact that I was not used of being up all night and sleeping during daytime, so I could go to work at night, come back home, toast around, wait and wait and wait to get sleep, and I couldn't. So I ended up going 2 days with no sleep, just going to coming home, toasting around, staying in bed all day, and not knowing and not being able to sleep. And then the next thing, wake up and go to work all night. And then I started having severe headache just in those 2 days. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna kill myself, I quit. I ended up quitting Amazon, and I didn't have anything lined up at this moment. I was depleting my savings. Like, I was living off my savings. So you know how when you have money that is just there, you're not bringing anything in, but you're just taking. So my savings started going and going. And this was 2 months in. The apartments are taking my money, paying rent, food, everything. My and I didn't have a job lined up. I just quit Amazon, and then I decided to just keep searching. I ended up getting a job in one of the hotels. It was such a low paying job. I think they were offering me $11 or $10 an hour. And at the same time, I was like, oh my goodness, this place is becoming very hard. I even asked the lady that I was living with her, I'm like, how are you guys surviving in this place? The place is so expensive, and the pay is so low, you can't make up anything. And then she's like, oh, you know what, you get the rhythm, you get used to it, just give it time. Okay. And at this moment, we're going in 3 months. I was there already for 3 months and nothing. And I'm so sick of living with everything in my bedroom. I have my it was not a big bedroom. So I moved from Wichita because in my mind I knew that I was going to find an apartment. So I brought my kitchen supplies because I didn't want to buy new things when I get there. I brought some of my living room decorations because I knew that when I get to Florida, it's going to be get my own apartment after I lived with this person for a month and start looking for a job and everything like that. So I was in this one bedroom with kitchen stuff, with and house decorations and everything. I Because I loved them, but nothing. And I came to realize, I'm like, okay, after I think my fourth month, and this was already December, we are arriving in December 2021. I got a job offer from Orlando Health, $13 an hour. I started making calculations. I'm like, if at this moment there were no apartments under 1100. So if I am paying 1100 for an apartment and I am being paid $13 an hour, how will I survive this city? And that was the last straw for me. I was like, you know what, I can't live in this city anymore. The dream I had was it was going away, and the city that I was looking forward to live in became like a nightmare for me. I got a job offer from Orlando Health. I didn't At this moment, I was just sitting waiting because I got a job offer in December and they told me I will start working in January. So I had to sit and wait until January for me to start actually working. And at this moment, I decided, I'm not I'm going to move to Houston. I'm going to leave this city and I'm going to find something else. I had depleted my savings account and I only had $2,000 left in it. And I decided to started looking at apartments online, and I found an apartment that was going to cost around $800 in Houston. And I decided to give them a call, and by my luck they were actually running an offer. If you qualify, then no application fee, no down payment. And they were I guess they just needed somebody in their apartment. And I was like, you know what, I didn't know which neighborhood it was, I just knew it was cheap and I needed it. And I ended up calling the apartment. The apartment ended up telling me to give them a proof of employment. So either give them 3 month pay stub, or I can just give them 3 month pay stub with the bank statement included. At this moment, I didn't have a job, I didn't have a pay stub to give them. So what I ended up doing is, because I had an offer letter from Orlando Health, and at the same time I decided to give them the 3 month bank statement, and I only had $2,000 left in it. After I sent it to them, I started just praying. I'm like, please God, help me, please help me, help me. And with God's grace and mercy, he decided to help me, and they approved me for an apartment. I was shocked myself. I was like, how? And then I started doubting. I'm like, how could this apartment accept me? Because I would not accept me if I was supposed to approve. And then yet they accepted me. And I can just look back now and see how this was God's hand in everything. His mercy was speaking for me. And I was like, you know what? They told me, when do you plan to move in? I was like, you guys are serious that you have approved me? They're like, yes, we have approved you. Just let us know when you're coming in. I was like, you know what? February 1st. I will move in February 1st. And they were like, okay, no problem. Just come to the office, give us the first month rent, and you are good to go. Because at this moment they were running a promo where you don't have to pay for application fee, you don't even have to pay a down payment. So it was like a miracle for me. I was like, you know what? Yes, yes, yes. And I decided to move in February. At this moment, I packed up everything that I owned back to my car again, my kitchen stuff and my decorations and everything. I put them back in my car, and we started driving to Houston, Texas. It was a 16-hour drive. I got here, I paid for a hotel for one night, and after I paid for the hotel, I decided to go ahead and go to the leasing office the next day to go get the keys. I arrived here with the Houston welcome. It rained all day that day. And then, to my shock, I find myself in a very bad neighborhood. Now it started coming to me. I'm like, now this is why they accepted everything that I gave them, because it wasn't that great of a neighborhood. And I cried in my car as soon as I was driving to that apartment in the morning. I looked around. I'm like, where have I found myself in? I broke down and started crying in my car before I could even go to the leasing office. And then I decided, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm already here. Let's just go ahead. And I go to the leasing office. The ladies were still very nice. They talked to me. They told me to go get a money order to pay for the apartment. I started driving in rain, googling. I just googled, where can I find a place to sell money order, and it was pouring. The neighborhood had some it had puddles, and it actually floods everything. And it was flooding already by the time I came in, and my car was driving in water. I was crying the entire time as I'm driving around to find a money order. I go and I reach to this place. They gouge me, they price gouge me, because I had $2,000 and 800 of it was already going to rent, and money order ended up costing me $20 to just get a money order, because the the shop I went to told me that they don't really make money orders. They just do it as an exception, and if I am that exception, I have to pay like $20 extra for them to even give me money order. I knew they were price gouging me, but at this time I was wet. It was raining outside, and I just needed to get somewhere that I'm going to sit and just dry myself up at least. So I just go ahead and pay the $20 for money order. I drove back to the office. On my way back, because I didn't have any furniture, I didn't know how I'm gonna sleep that night. I had nothing. I decided, as I was driving back, I stood in a traffic light. I look up, it says discount furnitures. I'm like, okay, let me just drive in here and find out what kind of furniture I can be able to get. Maybe a mattress, at least, that will help me out. So I go into the store, and they tell me they're selling the mattress. They're doing like a promo or something. I can buy a mattress and a frame for $300. I was like, $300 for both mattress and the frame. I was like, you know what, can you guys deliver? They're like, yes, if you pay for extra for delivery. I was like, you know what, I will pay extra. It's raining, I don't even need to find how to bring this. If you guys can do it for me, that would be nice. I give them my address. I haven't even paid the rent at this moment, but I just went ahead and bought the mattress. So look, at this moment I'm paying $800 for the first month rent out of the 2,000, and then 300 out of the 2,000 going to the mattress. That is already minus around, let's say, 800. That was already 1,100 outside that 2,000. So now I only have $900 left, and I don't have a job lined up. I don't know anyone in Houston, and this is all by faith at this moment. I drive back because the mattress people tell me that they will go ahead and deliver. I drive back to the office. I pay the rent, and they give me the key. I go in, I open my apartment. It was a very beautiful apartment. The neighborhood was really bad, but the apartment itself was really beautiful, which was like a saving grace for me. I went in, I turned off the heat because I was so cold. I was wet from moving in and out of the rain, and I just sat down and cried. I cried. That was the first thing I did. I've been crying since that morning, and now I had a dry place to actually cry now. I cried and cried and cried nonstop, and then I picked up my phone. I'm hungry. I haven't ate anything throughout the day. I'm very hungry at this moment, and I'm thinking about looking for the nearest store so I can get something to cook for myself and eat out of my 900 that is left now. And I'm like, okay, let me just go look for what I'm going to cook. I go to the store. Before I actually went to go buy something, I decided to call my sister so I can let her know what is happening to me. How I am in a very bad neighborhood that I've never thought I would live in. At the same time, it's been raining the entire time I've been in Houston, and how everybody has been price gouging me and all that kind of stuff. So I call her, I'll tell her everything, and she laughs. She calls her husband. The both of them start laughing very bad. At the end of the day, I ended up finding out, well, this is kind of hilarious though. It's not tragic. It is hilarious. I started laughing with them, and that actually lightened up my day a little bit. I ended up spending, it was around 6 p.m. at this moment. I ended up just laughing, and after laughing so much, I felt some kind of strength coming within me. I go in my car, I drive to a store, buy some grocery, buy some things to to cook. And guess what? I had my pots and pans that I've been traveling with it from Wichita to Orlando, and now from Orlando to Houston. I had it in my car. All I had to do is take it out of my car and put it inside the kitchen and cook some meal for myself. And I felt, and then the mattress people around 6 p.m., it was around 6 to going to 7 p.m., the rain stopped. The mattress people came and delivered my mattress. I put it down and I slept, and I cried a little bit more and went to sleep. The next day, I went out. It wasn't raining. I looked at the door. I looked at the apartment complex, and I was shocked. There were warning signs everywhere. Do not leave your property in the car. Make sure you lock your door. Stuff like that. And I broke down again. I was like, you know what? This is just so bad. But at the end of the day, I started crying. I told God, what do I need to do? I have not, I think at this moment, I have like $800 left in my account. And this 800 could be my next rent if I don't get a job anytime soon. And now I start applying, looking for jobs everywhere I went. I started driving around, just seeking where I can find a job, and I nothing. Every attempt I did was nothing. This moment we are, I think, 3 weeks in, and 1 month is almost up for me to pay my next rent, and I don't even have enough anymore. With between putting in gas into my car, I already had like $700 left in my account, and I'm asking myself, how am I going to do this? And I was crying. I just sat down in my bedroom at this moment with only mattress. I started crying. I told God, I'm like, God, I am going to commit suicide at this moment because I am so depressed. I don't know where my left is from my right. I don't know where I can see. And I need your help. It's either you kill me today because I don't have the strength to do it myself, or you kill me or you change my circumstances because I am tired. I am exhausted. I don't even know what to do next. And I know they're going to kick me out. I can't be evicted to a place that I just moved in. And I started just crying. And by the time I was done crying, I decided to distract myself a little bit by going on Facebook. And as I was going on Facebook, there was a pastor preaching. His name is Pastor Marcelo. I always vouch that pastor. And it was a 60-second video of his. And what he said shocked me. What he said touched my heart. It was like he explained my life in 60 seconds. It's like, you are about to give up. Don't give up. Well, I was like, oh my God, this is not just a coincidence. This has to be a message from God. And that day I decided to go look for the long sermon because it was 60 seconds on Facebook. I decided to go on YouTube and look for the long sermon, and I listened. And I benched listen his messages from one message to the other, from one message to the other, to the point that I just broke down and I knew that it was God. That day is the day I knew that God can speak to me, because it was from my short prayer. Even right now, as I'm talking about it, I even want to cry because of how great God showed himself to me that day. And I can't, can you, it was a life-changing moment for me. After that, I watched message after message. I started praying with all the messages that he was teaching, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And 1 month in, because I was already reaching at the end. Everybody knows February is one of the shortest month. So I was reaching at the end of the month in order for me to pay my next rent. I called one of my friend who's one of the best friends that I have. I asked him for extra money, and he actually sent me $100. Shout out to Freddie. He's always going to be one of my friends. He actually cash ups me $100. I add on top of what I already had, and I think my sister sent me something for food, and I added it to what I already had, and I ended up paying my next month rent, which was March. I ended up paying my March rent, and at this moment I had $0. I was completely empty. Everything that I had, including my friend who had just cash upped me money to add on top of to add on top of what I had, and I had nothing. I was $0 in, and by the grace of God, I get a call. Somebody is like, "Oh, we are an employment agency, and we found something. You applied with us long time ago, and we have something lined up. If you're ready, you can start right now. Like start Monday." I was like, "Yes, yes, 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 I'm ready to start." And from there on, things just started changing. I applied. It was a temporary job. I decided to work there for. I was working there. It was data entry, so it was very easy, nice hours, and things just started changing for me as soon as I accepted Jesus Christ, and as soon I started hearing clearly from Him. Every time I prayed, He would speak to me. We started having this love affair that was so beautiful, something that I would have never had if I stayed in Wichita or if I stayed in Florida, because I was really distracted. And coming to Houston, spending a month by myself, no one, I didn't know anybody, I didn't leave the apartment unless I'm going to look for a job. I didn't know any, I was just in that isolation. I was able to meet God, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever found in my life. And from that day on, things started changing for me. I took a temp. It was a 3 month temporary job. By the time 3 months was hitting, I only had like a week left into my contract, and this lady just said, "I'm not gonna hire any of you guys. You guys are not that great. I'm not going to hire you." On that same day that lady said that, I was off from the workplace to my car, and at this moment I wasn't scared because I knew God is in control, and I just had this peace in my heart despite what the lady said about not hiring any of us. I just knew that God is in control and He's going to open up a new door. So I went into my car. The first thing on, it was Friday, I get a call. This lady says, "I work with this agency." This was a different agency, and we found a new job, which is a temp to hire job. If you perform very well, most of the people that work with them have always been hired. So if you come in, you will get hired too. It's a temp to hire job. Are you willing to start Monday? I was like, yes. My contract on this side is ending, and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew God was going to provide, because at this moment I have had a good relationship with Him. It's been 3 months of the two of us. I didn't have no friend. I didn't make anyone at work. I didn't make any friendship at work because I knew it was a temporary job. So it was just God's alignment, and I ended up getting the job that I'm still working on right now. And I have been in that company for, I'm going to my 4th year next year. It's crazy. And I have met the most amazing people from that job. It's been opening up. It's been an amazing thing. After 6 months living here in Houston, God will now put it in my heart to find a community, to find a church. And I started moving from one church to the next, looking for the best church. And after, like, I think a year, I was able to find the church that I'm in right now. I serve in the church and the Sunday school teacher. I have met so many nice and amazing influential people in this church, and it's things just changed for me. Things that I never knew, that even creating this channel, things that I never knew I would be able to do, I was able to do it now because God's hand was upon me. He ended up opening my life completely. So the isolation I was going through was one of the best things for me to be concentrated in knowing God. Now I thank him for everything. I thank him for every decision, every fear that I was going through, every time I felt like giving up, and he gave me strength. I thank God for the friends and family members that he has put around me. They were able to support me, either just by making me laugh or just by sending me small amount of money here. It has been a journey, and I am going 4 years in Houston now. I'm really excited. I am so happy that God actually brought me to this place. Now I was able to move out of the neighborhood that I was living in and finding in the most amazing apartment that I love, enjoy, and I am living the best life that I wanted to live. I know I still have a very long way to go, but I am here and I'm excited. So if you're having any kind of problem issues right now that you're going through, and you think that you don't have a way out, if you just hang on to God, he will give you a way out. Don't give up. Just surrender yourself to him, because when I did surrender, that's when he showed up for me, because I was this boss lady. I was this girl who has it together until everything fell apart. I was able now to find the help that I needed from God. So that's why I am giving you this testimony. When you're trying to make your decision right now, just pray and ask God to help you make good decision, and also help you detach from anything that is holding you back, because you could have fear holding you back, you could have finances holding you back. If you have to make that decision despite your finances, go ahead and make the decision and just trust in the Lord and know that he will have your back. But the only thing this works is if you surrender to him. So if you have not given your life to God, yikes, you'll have to fight on your own. But if you have given your life to him, just like I did that day when I cried to him, I said, God, it's either you end my life or you do something. He actually showed up and did something for me. And I pray that this testimony was a blessing for you, as it is for me. Every time I tell this story, I always end up crying, because I just see God's hand, and it always reminds me every time that I am going through a hard time, knowing that God already took me out of it once, he will take me out of it again. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that I pray that you share this with somebody who's going through a hard time, or somebody who's thinking about making new decisions, that they shouldn't be afraid. They should trust in the Lord in everything, and he will help them. And if you have not given your life to Christ, I will highly recommend that you do that right now. I always have that call in my end of my videos to let you know that God is the only one who can come through for you. If you are at your darkest moment, don't give up. Hold on to God, cry to him. He hears your prayers, he sees your cries, and he will show up for you, just like he showed up for me while I was reaching the rockest bottom of my life. He was able to lift me up and give me strength. I pray that he does the same for you. If you are alone in this holiday season and you feel like life, like you feel so lonely and you don't even know what to do, I will tell you that you are not alone. You have the Holy Spirit that lives within you. You have God the Father who's watching you. You have Jesus Christ who's watching you. You have the whole army of the Lord with you. That's how I don't ever feel alone, because I know I am surrounded. So this was a video of encouragement, and I pray that it encouraged you. Like, comment, and also share if you have to share it. And I will see you in my next video. God bless you.